The champ is here. The champ is here. What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 representing JVS, and I got my man, partner in crime here. Keaton is back, and he's back to give you guys that good season 6 Courage by Fire review reaction. What's going on, Keaton?
It has been a long time coming. I have been so busy. I'm in a 1-year master's program. 1 year. I've been so busy, man. Every single night I go to bed, I pull up something to put on before I go to sleep, and I see the HBO logo glowing, and I was just itching to go back to it. I'm like, man, I miss it. I needed them a lot, but I've been so busy because they had me taking classes through the summer. They had me taking a ton of classes in the fall. I'm still in classes now, but like I've had some snow days, so I was able to get some stuff done. I was able to go back to it.
Oh, man.
I have missed this. I have missed Westeros. I'm repping Winterfell because that Battle of the Bastards was not a game. But yeah, man, I have missed it. It's good to be back.
All I can say, Keaton, is hold the door. Hold the door, Keaton. Hold the door.
We got time travel. Man, it went down in Westeros. It went down. It went, man, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right there. So, you guys, where we normally do this, we let Keaton just vent out everything he thought about this season. I'm going to ask him some productive questions here or there, but really this is all about Keaton, expressing you guys what you really felt about the season. And then if you guys have any questions for Keaton, let me know, because I will be recording them. And then towards the very end of this, we'll be reading them back so Keaton can answer whatever the questions that you have for him. So make sure you go into the comment section below and ask your questions now, because it's going to get really serious. So Keaton, first off, the thing that I want to bring up is that you guys, Keaton almost quit this show. At the end of season 5, I was there. I was legit there. And I watched this man just break all emotion. All emotions were just gone. And so we literally had to force him to watch the next episode because it was just too much for him.
It's true.
So Keaton, what was that whole process like? Like knowing, one, Jon Snow did die by his own hand.
Oh yeah, he was dead. He was all the way dead, man. I tell you, I was absolutely heartbroken in every way. Like since season 1, he has been my boy. He has been the dude. Since season 1 was my homie. He was my homie. He kept it real. And then they killed him. And I mean, they killed him hard. Like everybody was stabbing Jon Snow. Everybody. Man, all the people at the wall was stabbing Jon Snow. People came out of retirement to stab Jon Snow. The producer yelled, cut. He got in there, stabbed Jon Snow. Like, bro, George R.R. Martin came in, wobbled over there, stabbed Jon Snow. Like, bro, everybody was taking hits out of my man. And so, yeah, I was absolutely heartbroken. And I had a little bit of alcohol. I was enraged. I was hurt. Every emotion was going through me, man. And so, yeah, y'all had to make me, because I'm like, yo, the world is too miserable as is for me to be this miserable. Like, I can't take this. I already had to deal with Glenn dying. Like, this is, nah. like, nah, Glenn was bad enough on Walking Dead. Then y'all gonna do this to me? Like, my chest, my bloody chest. Like, I was done. I was absolutely done. But I'm glad I kept watching. Y'all convinced me. And you said give it 2 episodes, and I did. And I'm glad I did. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
That's hilarious. So, I mean, coming off the second episode, Jon Snow definitely is back alive, but, you know, mentally and emotionally, he was not the same Jon Snow. He had to, do his due diligence and take care of the people that wronged him so that
Oh
they
yeah.
wouldn't wrong anybody else.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't want to do anything anymore. Like, he really legit receded in himself and just quit.
He was
And
done. He was leaving. He was headed south. He was like, I'm going to the beach, man. I'm out. I'm done.
yeah. And so, I mean, I guess I bring that up because a lot of people, it's so quick to think about like Battle of the Bastards. But when I was looking at it, like by the third episode, and I was sitting there thinking, man, he's about to leave. I was like, man, we're never gonna see Jon Snow live up to his potential, his lineage. Like, I was like, this is it. One way or another, Jon Snow really did die. And then to get to the point where the Battle of the Bastards, like, how did that make you feel being, I know that you're a fan of Jon Snow, but that whole, like, from the point that he, quit to coming back and embracing who he is, what did that make you feel?
The thing is, it's like we never even really got to see him have much of a chance to quit, because when he quit, on his way out the door, Sansa walks through. And so it's like, yo, here he comes. He's back again. He's back again. The man that doesn't want to lead, that's the natural. He's back. Like, and so it was really awesome, like, seeing him in this state where he's like, all right, I'm back from dead. I'm going on vacation. And then his sister walks through and he's like, I'm not going on vacation. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Wearing the 4-5 jersey, wearing the 4-5 Jordan. Like, I'm coming back. Like, and so it was really awesome, just like seeing the Starks interact again. Because how long has it been since we've seen that? Like, besides Bran and his brother Beyond the Wall. Like, it's been a long time since, like, we've seen two Starks in the same place.
That's factual.
Yeah. And so it was good, man. It was good. And so much happened, because it was like after he came back from the dead, he spent the majority of the season pretty much just recruiting. After that, they were just getting as many people together as they could. Because at the time, the only people backing him really for sure was Tormund and the Wildlings.
Yeah. And nobody really, I mean, even though, we're nobody going to cross Jon again, they were like, y'all really going to let these wildlings in after all this kind of look?
One of my favorite lines in all of season 6 was, what was his name? Was his name Thorne, the guy the first one that stabbed him, the one that really disliked Jon Snow from the beginning?
Yeah.
I think it might not have been Thorne. I can't remember, but right before he hung, he said, I had an option. He said, disobey my Lord Commander or disobey the Night's Watch. Because in his eyes, letting the wildlings in was completely so far from what the Night Watch's purpose is.
Yeah.
And he straight up admits, he's like, yep, I fought and I lost. I accept the consequences, but if I had to do it all over again, I think you did the wrong thing. And I'd probably stab you twice. Like, he straight up said it. And so I thought that was pretty crazy. Like, nobody else had much of anything to say to him. Ollie just dead-eyed him. And Jon Snow was just like, yeah, you a kid. Yeah, your parents got 8, but you gonna hang today. Like, you stabbed me the most. That hurt the most, man. You held my sword. You hanging. Hang them high. I'm telling you, it was, man, there was a lot of emotion in that third episode, because I think he comes back to life at the end of the second episode.
Yeah,
at the very end of the second one, and then at the beginning of the third one, he's like, "Yo, why am I naked?" Like, he was asking questions like Adam in the garden. He was like everything got reset. So much concern.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta think about, like, I mean, he legit died.
All the way.
He didn't. It wasn't like he was asking to come back. Like, I mean, he he felt like he lost everything.
All
And
the way,
so
man. Yeah, he was completely dead. When they showed his body in that third episode, bro, his chest, he looked like Victor Zass. He had so many marks. Like, it was not a game. Like, he was dead. He was dead. All the way. Like, yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, that I fact checked it. It was Thorne.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, Alistair Thorne. But yeah, that was rough. But this is the thing. As rough as John had to go through, think about Bran. Now, Bran has kind of taken a back fall like in previous seasons, but this season is where he really, trained with the three-eyed raven to
Oh, yeah.
become something he didn't know. And the ramifications of what he does in this season changes everything. So I
Oh,
was
yeah.
curious about Bran for you in this season.
Bran, like, he struggled from the get-go. Like, he's had a rough go of it. Like, since the first episode, he's had a rough go of it. Since episode one. Like, he saw a brother and sister smashing. Like, first off, you probably, like, mentally, you probably can't come back from that. Like, like, all his siblings, and he climbs a wall and that's what he sees. First off, you can't mentally come back from that. Then on top of that, now he's on like Lieutenant Dan's level. Now he can't even walk. And I'm telling you, and on top of that, for somebody that can't walk, he goes through the harshest conditions in all of Westeros. Like, for real. Like, he does. No horse, like, pull from a sled, like, just getting carried by a giant, like, everything. Like, the struggle's real for my man, but at least, like, in his dreams, he can walk. And he's going through a lot because the three-eyed raven is trying to, like, teach him stuff, but he's still kind of just easing him into it. And Bran's like, nah, I'm ready to go full go. He's like, Bran is watching the past the way we watch Game of Thrones. Like, man, I cannot wait till next week. I need to watch the next episode right now. And the three-eyed raven's like, nah, you need to wait up. Can't do it too much. And so he's going through a lot. He's going through a lot too, because he doesn't know where any of his family is. His brother left. I'm interested to see how that goes when he finds out about his brother. But yeah, he's been going through it. And so I feel for him. And at the same time, I didn't have time to feel for him as much as I was trying to cope with the fact that time travel is a weird thing with trees and stuff in Game of Thrones.
Oh man, gosh. Speaking of time travel, I think that's a great segue to probably one of the more emotional episodes in episode 5, The Door.
Oh yeah.
You get Hodor's, backstory and how Bran, unbeknownst to him, trying to stop a situation, trying to control Hodor to fight back, like positioned him in time with that same exact loop. So that's all he knows to do throughout, the course of his life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, man, including me, like, was just broken. I don't know. What did you think about, Hodor and that whole episode as a whole?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. So here's the thing. I feel like if you watch the live react that I did for that one, which I don't know if that one got posted yet, but so if you watch it, I watched it with my wife and my brother-in-law, and when you rewatch it, you can see them. They're like holding back tears. Like, I think one of them actually cried, and me the whole time I was just like awestruck with like, what? Bran made Hodor? Are you kidding me? Like I was just kind of awestruck by the time travel paradox factor aspect of it all. But it was really emotional because it's like, man, like innocent people just don't make it in Westeros, man. Westeros is not for good people. It just isn't. If you're not willing to at least backstab, like Westeros ain't for you. It's not. It's just not for you. And like Hodor, he's been with us for so long, and he's just like the lovable giant. Like he was completely lovable.
Yeah.
Like completely lovable. Like it's not like one of those. It's not like one of those shows where it's like a fight for survival, because he was just a character that was like there to help, and everybody loved him. Like Hodor could have been, like Hodor in my mind could have been the equivalent of like an adorable pet on a TV show that everyone loves, and it's like, really, you just killed like the cutest, most fluffiest like character, like yeah. And so it was hurtful. It was hurtful to see him go, but I loved how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely applauded how they did it.
Yeah, because it does two different things to you. It definitely makes, you know, his devotion to Bran so much more deeper. Like you instantaneously like will never forget Hodor just for one episode. Like if I had never seen any other scene with Hodor and I saw this episode, like I would never be able to forget him no matter what, just how well they writ it. But the second part of that is I mean, I had a different reaction because I blamed Bran. I was like, Bran, now look, you've only been trained for a little bit by the three-eyed raven, and you didn't understand the depths of your power. And the reality is that Hodor, most of Bran's life, he's sitting there been devoted to Bran up until this point. And then you find out he didn't even have a choice. His whole entire life was screwed because of Bran. Like he couldn't have any sense of normalcy. And it's like, that's messed up, bro. That's so messed up.
And it throws in that crazy time paradox too, because it's like, what would have happened if Bran hadn't done it? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does all of it mean?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
It's like, yeah, it's so crazy. But like what was also wild before that, because like, and I think I talked about it in some of the reviews, the first time he goes back in time with the three-eyed raven. See, now I have 1.5 million questions, because first of all, I'm going to say this right now, and I did not look this up. I called who Jon Snow's mom was. I called it. I did. I figured it out. I figured it out from the start. I said from the get-go, I said Ned Stark wouldn't cheat on his wife. And now I think I know who the dad is, and they made it all but blatantly obvious, but I'm waiting to watch season 7 to know for certain if I'm right. But the first time he goes back in time, and you see, and I'm not gonna lie, that was the coolest sword fight I've seen in the whole show so far. When he fights when Ned Stark fights the Targaryen's Kingsguard in the past, he's like dual wielding swords. That was the coolest fight that was the coolest sword fight I've seen in the show by far.
Yeah. Because he's supposed to be like the best swordsman like ever at that time.
Yeah, and he was doing to it. They had to stab him in the back to get him.
Yeah.
But also the number one thing I noticed was on those two guys' breastplates was a huge Targaryen symbol. Why are Targaryens guarding a tower with Ned Stark's sister in it? That's even after Rhaegar has fallen. I'm just gonna sip my tea like Kermit. More on that later.
I can't say anything.
I know. More on that later.
But I mean, I think that you bring up a really interesting point when it comes to Bran and time travel, because we realize that not only can Bran time travel, but he can interact with things in time.
And no one can
Because
stop him now. He's the new three-eyed raven.
true, but this is where it goes into the time paradox and the butterfly effect situation. When he made the change to Hodor, from what we know, that should have happened. But what we don't know is what did Bran cause from his time travels in the future.
Right.
So it's like, unless Bran dies, unbeknownst to us, he's going to continue to go back in time. So how many of the situations that are happening now did also Bran cause? Because I felt like as much as the Dora situation, it was also foreshadowing for ramifications of what Bran is doing. And so I was curious, did you have any theories about time travel before we close that loop, so to speak?
Well, and that's one of the things, because this was the first time I think they did it, he calls his dad and his dad heard him. His dad heard him and he turned around and saw it. And then the next time it happens, it's like, well, there's the episode The Door, when he goes and he makes a mistake, and I guess he goes to the present. It's not the past, but it's the present. And the Night King sees him and grabs him, and then they know where he is. And so at this point in time, I'm wondering, can he also go in the future and see stuff? Because we haven't seen that yet. And so I'm wondering if that's all stuff that they're going to really delve into in season 7. And if that's the case, it's like, man, there's no telling what's about to happen now, because the last thing you see him do in season 6, it doesn't just shed a light, it brings the sun up over so much that people have been wondering since like the very beginning of the show, since Ned Stark was like, the next time I see you, I promise I'll tell you about your mom, and then he didn't because he died. And so I'm extremely interested to see what I want to know, what the importance is of the three-eyed raven. Like, what is the necessity? What's the importance? What is his mission besides just being omnipresent and omniscient? Like, what is his purpose? And so, yeah, I'm interested in seeing where that goes, because we have a kid now that is untrained, that's like, yeah, I'm the new three-eyed raven, regardless or not, I'm the young pope, here we go. Like, and so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. This is I'm trying to make sure I don't say nothing crazy. All right, so the Oathbreaker, I think that was like episode 3 of season 6. We see Arya, she's training with no one. So Arya, what were your thoughts?
Woo! Arya, so at first, like, I will say this about Arya's start. At the beginning of this season, I was concerned for Arya. At the end of this season, I'm concerned for everyone else.
Exactly.
Like, man, I'm telling you, like, you could swap her in there for John Wick when they're saying Baba Yaga. Like, it's like, I'm concerned. Because so at the beginning of this season, she's blind. She's blind because she's being disobedient, but she's still training, and she eventually gets her sight back. And there's this girl. Do we know that girl's name? Like, the girl that like just beats the living daylights out of her this entire season. Do we know her name?
I feel like they did reveal her name, but I don't remember.
Yeah, but like, that girl just beats the brakes off of her every single episode. Like, it's just over and over again. And then finally, like, she gets her sight back, and they're like, hey, we want you to kill this lady. And Arya's like, what lady? And she goes and she sees like this lady, and she's doing all these plays about what's been going down in King's Landing. And Arya's getting like that twitch in her eye, like the bride from Kill Bill. When she notices someone from the list, she just keeps backtracking. And she's like, oh yeah, I do have a list. And I do need to check it twice. And so like this lady, this actress, she's bringing up like all kinds of emotions for Arya. And so, and on top of that, she's a really nice lady. And so Arya doesn't kill her. Arya doesn't kill her. And so she's like, I'm going to run away. I'm going to dip. I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm done. And she grabs her sword. She grabs her sword and she's getting ready to go. And then the girl that's been whooping her butt all season shows up like, oh no, you can't just walk away. This is not an after school special. No, no, not like this. And so she tries relentlessly to kill Arya, and she's coming after her like the T-1000 too. Like that's like I'm like, you're not getting away from this. And the whole time I'm like, Arya's already injured, so no, she's not getting away. What I don't believe is how Arya rolled down like 150 steps and remained able to walk, because bro, she was rolling for a minute.
She was.
She was rolling down those stairs for a minute like a tumbleweed. But she's been training, and she was training blind. She was training blind, and it all made sense because she ends up injured. She has needle, but she's injured in a room with one candle with this evil chick. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the coolest things I've seen in the show. She takes needle and she cuts the candle. She cuts the candle and it goes black. And it's like, what just happened? Yeah. And the next thing you see is she's back in the temple of the many of all the faces, and you see blood. And when it pans up, it's Arya won. It's the other girl's face. Arya went equilibrium on homegirl, and she did it. Like, she beat her, and Jaqen's there, and she's like, you got your face. I'm good, right? Like, we're cool. And Jaqen's like, yeah, we cool. Cool. We requested a face, and there's definitely a face there. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't know where Arya's going, because she says her name. She's like, I'm Arya Stark of Winterfell. I have a name. And then she dips, and she says she's going home. But right before she said she was going home, when she was talking to the actress, she says, what's west of Westeros?
Yep.
She says, what's west of Westeros? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so she's off to find Gorgon. Like, she's leaving and going to where we don't even know, to uncharted territories. But that is not what happens. That is not what happens. They shift over to the twins' House Frey, and Walder Frey's just there chilling, and he's talking, and Jaime Lannister's like, actually, y'all are trash. I don't even know why we helping y'all. And he walks away. Bronn goes off to have like his like 8th threesome of the season. And then when everybody is gone, Walder Frey's just sitting there chomping down on a meat pie. He's been chomping down on, because it's only one big slice left. He's eating this whole meat pie. He's asking for where his sons are. And the waitress girl that he's been hitting on is like, they're right here. And hits Walder Frey with the biggest RKO out of nowhere that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's Arya Stark. This is Arya Stark. And not only is it Arya Stark, it's Chef Stark. After making meat pie a la Homo sapien, she made a meat pie out of his sons and fed it to him. Titus Andronicus, William Shakespeare did that. And then she just kills Walder Frey. kills him with a smile on her face. With a smile on her face. The realest. I said, man, there's so many words that I could say, but I said it. I said it at the beginning of the night. I said, I'm going to keep this review PG. I'm going to do better. 2018, new year, new me. I'm going to do better. So yeah, there were so many words that I had, but man, I was completely caught off guard. And at that moment, I also got a lot of concern because I'm like, man, this is a really big chessboard. And Arya's not playing a game of chess. Arya's just knocking pieces off the chessboard.
She is. She legit is.
And I'm like, there might be cause for concern later on with Arya because she's down with killing everybody. She has no problem with it at all. Like none problems.
Yeah. It's like anybody connected to it, anybody that was involved, like you're done.
They're all catching these hands. Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Nope.
Yeah, you're gonna definitely see that play out more next season. And yeah, just a heads up, you guys. There's definitely some reactions that Keeden has done that we've yet to post up. So stay tuned for that. I know season 8 doesn't come out till 2019, so y'all have a lot of time. Y'all can kind of absorb like Keeden's like trial by fire going through this next season. But yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, please, everybody out there watching, let me know which episodes I should do reacts for, and I'll make sure to do those.
Yeah. These are essential, you guys. Let us know. I know some that I definitely think you should check out, but let us know what you think. So, in the beginning of this season, well, shoot, let's go to the end of last season. Sansa has been like brutalized, demeaned, and just like everything you could think of, like broken. And then, Theon got her out.
Mm-hmm.
He converged with, old girl Brienne and her understudy, and she made it out, you know what I'm saying? But Sansa went through her own transformation in her own right. And I was curious because Sansa wasn't on your top list before, but what do you think?
Now. Yeah. She is now. That girl she's been to hell and back. She's been to hell and back, and you can tell it scarred her, but at the same time, she's still, like, when you look at her on screen, and I gotta give credit to the actress, she still maintains this presence of royalty and dignity, and just like bow to her, because she's a queen despite what she's gone through. And I loved that they did that. I love that they did that because, and I might go on like a little bit of a tangent here, because they showed everything that she went through behind closed doors. We still don't know all the horror and terrible things that she's gone through. And yet when we see her, she's standing up and she looks supreme and she has the faith and she looks like royalty. And what honestly it made me think about is it made me think about the era that we live in now, how much and how many women out there have just gone through the most horrible things imaginable. And yet when we see them, they're absolutely poised and they're absolutely amazing, and they are royalty, and they're getting through life despite the horrors that they have gone through. And so like it hit me, that hit me on an emotional level. It really hit me on an emotional level, especially with like all the things going on, like with the Me Too movement and everything. Like, I watched this at a time when like this was all just like really heavy hitting. And so like Sansa, I was team Sansa all season long. Like, the girl just went through it. And I know that there's just like damage and hurt there from all the stuff she's gone through, but she still just kept her focus and remained strong and got through it. And it was in my opinion the most powerful aspect of season 6. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, because the reality is that she had to come back into her own like she did. I don't think that John would have had as much emotional backing to get into the fight of the Battle of the Bastards like he did. It won't just a matter of like before him, yes, his brother's in front of him, he wants to engage and take this out, but he knows his sister has got his back. His sister literally saved him. Like, if his sister was not there the first time, like, anything could have happened. So it's like her being there laid so much presence for him on a deeper level that I really did enjoy Sansa and her growth, because all we knew about Sansa before was like she's prissy, she's bratty, making bad decisions. But it's like when you see somebody literally grow up in front of you, not like coming of age story, but like just life, just smacking them in the face every episode. Like,
this wasn't just like coming of age. This was Enzo after the game. Like, this was like she went through everything in such a short time span. Like, her childhood was snatched from her. And it's so terrible. Like, her childhood was snatched from her, and she had to go from she instantly had to become an adult. I'll put, like, it was way beyond the reboot reference I just made. I will be honest. Like,
I was about to say, I was like, did you just bring up a Matrix Enzo reboot? I'm still laughing. I was like,
I watch a lot of stuff, man. I watch a lot of stuff, but like she went to hell and back. Like, she went to hell and back. John Constantine, like, and she kept her composure. Kudos. I couldn't have done that. Kudos. Because Ramsay Bolton is a bastard. And I don't even mean that in the textbook definition. I mean it in the Urban Dictionary definition. Ramsay Bolton is a bastard. Like, he is, and like he is about as evil of a villain as we've seen. Like, and what's so interesting is season 6 had so many different kinds of evil villains, because you had the Ramsay Bolton type that was just like straight evil and admitting evil, and then you had villains like the Dothraki who were keeping Daenerys down, and they were so set in their ways. And then you had that like overly religious cult villain like the High Sparrow and the Seven. And like, so there were so many different kinds of villains this season that the main characters that we're used to seeing aren't even at their normal self. Like, I'm not gonna lie, by the end of this season, I was pulling for Cersei. I was. Because I'm like, man, this religious cult, we do not need this. Oh no, this is a hot mess. Like, and so like when you see her like put her game in motion, absolutely phenomenal. Like, everything about this season was amazing. Amazing. But yeah, going back to Sansa, like, the girl, they would have lost without her, because she told them, she said, y'all don't know Ramsay like I do. And sure enough, she went straight to the Vale and got Littlefinger, who's Lord of the Vale now because he traded it to a kid for a bird.
He's playing the game, man.
He plays it well. He plays it well. He's like, yo, kid, I know you're Lord of the Vale, but this bird, though. Yep. Yo, how about this? Ain't this bird nice? Like, I give you this bird. And sure enough, now he's Lord of the Vale. And he's deep down in his head, he's still thinking like, oh, I'm going to end up with a Stark. Like, I need to marry a Stark. And Sansa's like, yeah, dog, that ain't me. Like, she curved him hard. She curved him hard, so hard at the end of that scene. When I say curve, I mean, it was like the bullet from Wanted. Like, it just, like, gone. Like, nope. Like, she curved him right out of her direct messages. Like, it was so good. It was so good. So I'm interested in that. I'm interested in seeing what happens there too.
Shoot, man. I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything too crazy. Flip. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room because he brought up Ramsay Bolton, how evil he is, what he has done. But let's talk about the Battle of the Bastards. Let's just lay the cards out there. For me, cinematically, I don't think I've seen certain movies on the level of Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't think I've ever seen like action to that scale on television ever. And it was just like from the beginning of the fight to the end, I was yelling at my TV in anxiety. Like I didn't know what was going to happen.
And what was so crazy is that episode, all of that came after what went down in Marine. And I know we'll talk about Marine later, but like the battle, that episode was so just epic in every way. Like I got the same feeling watching the Battle of the Bastards that I did watching Saving Private Ryan, watching Return of the King. Like I got like just the epicness of a 1 hour television program. How did they do it? How did they do it? Like it was absolutely insane from beginning to end. From beginning to end. Sam, I've been trying to think of it, and his name has slipped my mind. The youngest Stark brother.
Oh, you talking about the one that got killed?
The one that got caught and killed, yeah.
What is his name? Dude, I totally forgot his name.
Yeah, because I keep trying to say Tommen, but Tommen is the youngest Lannister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Rickon.
Rickon. That's him. Rickon. So Rickon, one of Ramsay Bolton's one of the people that swore allegiance to him, caught Rickon and gosh, I keep wanting to call her her name from Harry Potter because she plays Tonks, but Asha, that was her name. Asha. Ramsay kills Asha, has Rickon, another wolf has been. We saw two wolves bit it this season because Bran's wolf died during the door, and then Rickon's wolf. So I think there's two wolves out there that are left. There's Ghost, Jon Snow's, and then there's Arya's wolf that ran away at the very beginning in season 1 that I have not forgot about. That wolf is out there somewhere, and I'm waiting for it to come back. I hope it comes back. That would be crazy. But Rickon gets killed by Ramsay because, well, honestly, because he insists on running in a straight line. I'm not gonna lie, I was very frustrated by Rickon in the Battle of the Bastards because I'm like, yo, you see my man, like he's shooting arrows at you. You should probably try doing a zigzag kind of thing. Like, I would at least not run directly straight. Not like I would try to not run straight. Like that was concerning to me. And so Rickon gets killed after Jon Snow tries his best to save him. Rickon gets killed after Jon Snow like tries to save him, and it sets Jon Snow off. Jon Snow plays right into Ramsay's game, which Sansa had warned him about. Sansa had warned him about it. I don't think I can hear you, Sam. Can I hear you?
Yeah, I was on mute. Okay. I was on mute. I was listening to you.
Okay, my bad. I just didn't know. My bad. Okay. Yeah. Rickon dies, and this is the coolest scene in the. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like, it's my desktop background. There's like 1,000 horses charging at Jon Snow, and Jon Snow's like, you know what? I don't even care. I already died. Pulls out his sword, and he's ready. He's like, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready to die. Biggie Smalls, ready to die. Let's do it. And then there's like the most epic clash of all times because his people got there right before they got to him. And the most crazy battle commences. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The most crazy battle commences. And Ramsay is firing on his own people. And so he's helping the other side out. The other side, they're not even firing because they're like, nah, we just end up hitting our own guys. And the battle's going on. 1-1, the giant, he's in there. Tormund's in there. Like it's going down. It's going down. People are dropping, man. It's crazy. And Ramsay's people win. Ramsay's people have it made because there's a wall of dead bodies on one side, and Ramsay's people with like shields, Roman style, are surrounding them. And the battle is all but lost. But then you hear a horn. And I was waiting for it. I was like, this feels like one of those moments where we need a Big Damn Heroes TV trope right now. And I was saying it. I was saying that like, I was like, we need a Big Damn Heroes TV trope right now. And sure enough, the Vale, they roll deep, they roll up, take out everybody. Sansa went to Littlefinger. And Littlefinger couldn't say no because Sansa's last name is Stark, and that's just his fetish. Like, and so and so they show up, and Jon Snow's like, oh no, we ain't done. Because Ramsay retreats. And Jon Snow, Tormund, and 1-1, they follow him. And sure enough, they break into the building. 1-1 has his shining moment of glory. He gets turned into a straight up porcupine because he just takes arrow after arrow after arrow. And now I understand that pop figure that I saw in Barnes & Noble so many times. Ramsay kills 1-1. He shoots him in the eye with an arrow. And then, and this is what's so funny, and one of the reasons Jon Snow is the realest dude ever. Ramsay's like, actually, yeah, let's do this one-on-one combat thing. That's cool. And Jon Snow is still down for it. He grabs the shield. He blocks every single arrow that Ramsay shoots at him and beats the brakes off of Ramsay. And what is so awesome and what I was so happy about was that when, and this is what I thought of it was when Jon Snow is beating Ramsay, he stops when he sees Sansa. Because in my mind, what he's saying is, you're not mine to kill. You're not mine to kill. I'm gonna stop right now. Like that's what I took from it. And so following that, the next time you see Ramsay, he's tied up in his dungeon, and Sansa's sitting there, and Ramsay's still talking trash. He's still talking trash. Still talking trash. And they have like this short, quick conversation. And basically Sansa's like, oh yeah, remember when you said you hadn't fed your dogs in like a hot minute? They hungry. They hungry. They hungry. Like, that's what you get. I ain't called a humane society to you. I just put you in here with them. PETA is not coming today. Oh no, they gonna eat. They are gonna eat. And the scene is so crazy because the dog walks up and like looks Ramsay in the eye. And it was it was so graphic. The dog just like bites into his face.
Yeah, directly.
It was direct, like graphic, like bit into his face. Like, ooh, like it was just, oh man. And he got what everyone wanted. He got fed to the same dogs that he fed his stepmom to, that he fed his little brother to. He got what was coming to him. And what was funny is at the beginning of the episode, and I don't know if it made it into my live react, but I was saying to my wife, when he was like, my dogs haven't eaten in 7 days, I'm like, I hope they eat you. And sure enough, they did. Sure enough, they did. So, yeah, that, man, the way the Battle of the Bastards played out was just absolutely phenomenal. And I loved when you see the banners drop and you see that like House Stark is back in it. And what's so interesting is, and I was mentioning this to my wife, to Colleen, there are a lot of families that are just completely eliminated now. Like there are no more Boltons out there. Boltons are done.
Yep.
I think Frey only had 2 sons, so the Freys, they're done.
Yep.
The Freys are done. And we haven't talked about everything that went down at King's Landing yet, but the Tyrells, the Tyrells, I think they're pretty much done too.
Yeah.
And so yeah. And I'm not giving the Martells too long either because Cersei's mad. And so
Cersei she's lost. It ain't just a matter of her being spiteful or vengeful or maniacal. Like, she is lost and she has found who she's always wanted to be.
Oh yeah, she is Lex Luthor post Lara in Smallville. Yeah. Like,
yeah, no, yeah. Like legit.
Yeah, and so I'm so stoked to see where all of this is headed. I know where it's headed, but man, I'm hyped to see it.
Yeah, so I guess to finish this out, the end, the last episode, and everything that happened, everything that led up to it, I think that might have been one of the best season finales of any TV show to me.
Agreed.
Just because there was so much weight. And then they added on so much more questions simultaneously.
And on top of that, they've been building from it all season long. Like when the Sand Snakes and their mom killed the ruler of Dorne and was like, weak men will never rule Dorne again. And they've been like looking for vengeance. And then like it all came together because it's like everybody's picking sides now. Because before I go into Cersei, what we got to say is, so we know what ends up happening with like with Marjorie and her brother. And so then next time you see the old lady. I can't think of her name. I can't think of her name, but she's in Dorne and she's telling the sand snakes to shut up. And and Varys shows up. So now they've teamed up with Daenerys. So now Daenerys has a legit squad because she has the Greyjoys and the Iron Islands and whoever they've brought, like minus their uncle. She has the Targaryens. She has the Unsullied. She had like she has a legit squad now as she's sailing overseas. So like you don't know where all of this is gonna end up going. Like you have no idea how all of this is gonna end. And all of that is stuff you find out in this season finale. And what's so crazy about this season finale, like I said, all of it's been building up because at the beginning of the show, gosh, what is his name? Kyron, the one that makes Franken Mountain. Kyvern, I think that's his name. The one that makes Franken Mountain. He takes all of the kids that Varys was feeding to find out information. Now they're on his side. And oh yeah, the little birds. And one thing, let me backtrack and let me say the most amazing part about the season finale to me was the music. I believe the name of the track is Light of the Seven. And it is the most phenomenal. It was amazing. It was amazing. The last time the music set the tone that heavy in Game of Thrones, I think, was the Reigns of Castamere. But the way the music set the tone for the whole episode was phenomenal. But the payout was insane because Franken Mountain goes to Tommen's room and says, "No, you're not leaving right now." The Grand Meister, he gets killed by all of the little birds. Lancel, he goes down underneath the building and a kid stabs him. And the thing is, I rewinded it to make sure because I'm like, what did he stab him that he couldn't walk? The kid stabbed him in his spine. He stabbed him in the spine so that he couldn't walk. And oh my God, this was so epic. The wildfire underneath the building. And as soon as it enters, it's like, oh man, they just introduced the gun. At some point in this very end of a hall is like the smallest candle over all of this wildfire. And Marjorie picks up on it and breaks character because Marjorie, she had been pretending the whole time to be like the super religious, like saved girl and everything. And even at the end, she's like, Cersei's not here for a reason. To hell with this trial. We need to get up out here. We needs to be gone. We needs to be gone. Skedaddles. We need to be out. And the High Sparrow, he's just like, I'm Jonathan Pryce. I ain't going nowhere. Like, and like that, it goes off and just blows up everything. Everybody die. Everybody goes up in smoke. Cersei's uncle was in there. He dies. The Tyrells were in there. They die. The High Sparrow and all his and his squad, they die. Majority of the rich people in King's Landing, they die. A Bale crushes a chick because she dies. Like everybody dies. Everybody dies. Cersei's watching it and she's just like, yep, that's what you get. Represent. Wipes the dirt off her shoulder, but unbeknownst to her, Tommen is like, I just watched my mom. I just watched my wife die. I'm not 100% sure if my mom was in there. Like, everybody I know just bit it. And that was a crazy scene because I had to do a double take on it. He, like, you see him take off the crown, walk away, and then they stay showing on the open window. And I'm like, by the time I wonder if my TV skipped, I see him, and he just straight up high dives off the wall, out of the building.
Like, didn't even, it wasn't even hesitation. He just.
And I looked over Colleen was watching it with me. I looked over at her and I said, did that just happen? And Sam, you know what my first thought was? That witch's prophecy that prophesied to Cersei that said that all 3 of her kids would die.
Yep. Like, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy that she undeliberately did. It's funny because in The Mother's Mercy, the last episode of the 5th season, she said to the mountain, she was like, everybody that did this to me are going to pay. And she did that. She made them pay, but she still lost everything. And gained power too, because that last scene, when she showed up in her decked out like dress and like armor, I was like, she better slay. And
the thing is, I was so upset with all like the religious cult that was going on. Like, I was hyped for what she did, but like by the end, all I had was chills. Like, all I had was chills by the end of it.
No, that's real.
Yeah,
that's so real. Man, as you guys can tell, I don't know how long we've been on. Season 6 was a lot.
It was so much.
I feel like we haven't even gone through everything, and I don't think we have time to go.
We haven't, because we haven't brought up. We never got a chance to bring up like Tormund's huge crush on Brienne of Tarth. Like, we haven't got a chance to bring up that. Sam went by his dad's house, stole a sword because they were trash, and went to the Citadel. He's there now. He doesn't even know everything that went down. The Hound, he hooked up with the Brotherhood Without Banners after Mr. Wednesday got killed. Like, and so, man, it is everything. Like, yeah, dude, a lot happened in this season. Like, so much happened in this season. Like, by the end of the season, I was making the exact face that Jaime Lannister was making. I was just like, I mean, shock and awe. I don't know what's gonna happen right now. It's about to be lit. It's about to be lit like wildfire.
Yeah. Nah, I can't wait. I don't know how we're gonna do season 7, you guys. I think that I have something in mind that me and Keeden are gonna try to work through together. But definitely stay tuned for his reactions on season 6 and season 7. They are coming. But yeah, Keeden, we'll talk about that more a little bit later on. And now it's you guys' favorite time. Questions. And there's not a lot this time, ironically. But I do got a question for Keeden. This moment right here, where Jon Snow is literally, he was being trampled over, suffocating underneath bodies of his own men. There was a moment for me personally that I didn't know if he would live. And I was just curious, what was your mind state when like he's like trying to fight literally from underneath his men?
I was never really worried about him much in this battle, because I guess the thing is, the TV tropes in me, the only thought I had was they wouldn't bring him back from the dead just to kill him again. Like, I always had a feeling that he was going to make it out of this, but I loved how they did it. Like, I loved how they did it, like the spectacle of it and the epicness of it, where it's just like, dead bodies being stomped on by living ones, and Jon Snow is somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
After coming back from the dead, like I just thought like it was a really interesting spectacle because it's like you have a bunch of dead people on the ground, and then you have a bunch of living people running for their lives. And then you have Jon Snow that's literally and metaphorically right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought it was really, really awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's get all these questions rounded up. And push a stop here. All right. Okay, here we go. So the first question goes to, I don't know where. Syncotic Aim Zask asks, are you ready for season 8? You gotta get through season 7 first, dude.
You know what? I think I am ready for season 8 though. That's gonna be some crazy times. Like this gonna be, I'm telling you, man, I don't know how you guys have done it that have been watching from the first season. Like, I don't know, like, because I'm annoyed with how long I have to wait for the last season. But like, I legitimately don't know how you guys waited between season 5 and 6. Because after Jon Snow did it, like, I don't know how I would have made it. I don't know how I would have done it. I would have been knocking on doors. I would have gotten arrested for like harassing George R. R. Martin because I would like, no, I want to know what is going on. What is going on right now? I need to know, and you're gonna tell me right now. So I don't know how y'all got through it. And I have a feeling that's how I'm gonna be at the end of season 7. Because every season of Game of Thrones, like this, well, I take it back. This season didn't leave many cliffhangers. This season made you look forward to what was coming, but it didn't have you worried about anything the way the last season ended before that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if season 7 ends the way season 6 did, or if it ends the way season 5 did, where it's like, I like, regardless, I won't be able to wait. But there's one thing where it's like, I need to know biting my nails till they bleed, and I need to know buying Game of Thrones related things because I'm so hooked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference.
Yeah. Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. Next one was actually a quote that I wrote down. This is like Enzo after the game. Quote of the year: Enzo to Matrix hashtag. Let's see. Johnny Leo Ware. Is your reactions of season 6 and season 7? I guess he was asking where is your reaction season 6 and 7. And then Johnny Leo Kane asks, where's your reactions for season 7? I mean, they're coming, you guys. Gonna have to kind of wait on it.
Yeah. So I did a reaction. So I did a reaction for The Door, and that one isn't up yet. And then I did a reaction for episodes 9 and 10 of this season. So Battle of the Bastards and what was the season 10? The finale called? I can't remember, but I did a react for that one. And then I will definitely be doing a reaction for season 7, episode 1. I think it's called Dragonstone. And if that's alluding to what I think it's alluding, I'm really excited for it. And yeah, and so I'll definitely, those reactions aren't up yet because they have to be edited and stuff, but I have done them. And honestly, it took me a while because I was trying to figure out a camera situation, but my wife got me a 4K camera for Christmas. And so my react should look a lot better. Now.
Shout out to Colleen for the 4K cam. Yeah, that's really dope. Is there any more questions? I guess the last question comes from Ramen Carter. What's Keaton's thoughts on Jon Snow's parentage?
All right, so All right, so I'll give you what I think. I'll give you what I think. And also, based on that, I'm going to make sure not to read any of the comments for this video that gets posted because I know people will be talking about it. So I called from the beginning. I didn't think Jon Snow was Ned Stark's son because I just didn't think Ned Stark would cheat on his wife. And then on top of that, throughout the season, you find out a couple things. Like you find out about Ned Stark's sister, who apparently got raped by Rhaegar Targaryen, but the evilness of Rhaegar Targaryen doesn't match anything you've heard about Rhaegar. Like everything you hear about Rhaegar is that he's this great guy and he sings with the people and he walks with the people. And their dad, yeah, the Mad King, like he was crazy, but Rhaegar was pretty cool. And that didn't, and so my first thoughts, I was just sitting here thinking about it. Like I get stuck on thinking about things. And I was like, what if Jon Snow is a Stark, but what if he's Ned's nephew and not Ned's son? And I had thought about that for a while. I was like, why would they mention the sister if it wasn't a big deal? On top of that, throughout the show, like before Robert Baratheon dies, you hear how much Robert Baratheon despises the Targaryens. You don't hear Ned talk about how much he hates the Targaryens, though. And I don't know if
Facts.
I don't know if it speaks with Ned's good character, but Ned, you never hear Ned talk about how much he hates the Targaryens. And you would think somebody whose sister got raped and killed by the Targaryens, he would be loud and clear about how he feels about them. And so from that point forward, I was like, I wonder if Jon Snow is Ned's nephew. And then this season, in season 6, when the young Ned Stark shows up outside of the tower and the Targaryen Kingsguard are outside the tower, I'm like, if Ned's sister's in there, why are the Targaryen Kingsguard guarding it while Rhaegar's already dead? Made me ask some questions. Then after Ned beat them and he goes upstairs to a by the Targaryens, death by the Targaryens, and his sister's given birth. She's given birth to a child, and the last thing she says before she dies is, "Don't tell Robert, he would kill the child." Robert was promised her hand in marriage, but beyond that, and this is me, beyond that, what would make Robert hate the child even more? If the kid was Targaryen, Robert Baratheon would not be able to handle it. So I don't know if we still don't know if Rhaegar raped her or not. But in my personal opinion, and in all honesty, I believe that Jon Snow is the child of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. And it also leaves a bunch of interesting questions for me, because my question is, if that's the case, because the Game of Thrones world is a little bit sexist, men come first. If that's the case, then Jon Snow has a higher right to the throne than Daenerys does. That's just, and so I'm interested to see where they go with it. But I feel like it would be weird if he wasn't the kid of Rhaegar, because they all but gave it away. Why? It makes no sense for the Kingsguard of the Targaryen Kingsguard to be guarding this tower. Why? Because they had to be ordered there by someone. Otherwise, they would be guarding the king or the prince. Where were they when the Mad King got stabbed in the back? Like, they had to be ordered there. I think Rhaegar ordered them there to protect his future child. I think that's. I'm very interested to see where this goes, because if that isn't what's right, I really want to see what is.
Oh, that answers that question. Hopefully, y'all enjoy Keaton's theory and really in-depth perspective on Jon Snow's potential lineage. As you well know, he will find out things later on in the 7th season that we will not talk to him about.
Yes.
And it's going to be an interesting ride, to say the least, you guys. And thanks, everybody, for coming out and definitely checking out our reaction/review of the 6th season. I would love for you guys to try to go to your Twitter account and go to @Keeden7. That's KEEDEN7. And give a follow to this guy so you guys can give him some recommendations on episodes he should watch or anything else. Like if you want him to react to a different show, I thought about picking up like Mr. Robot and starting something like that. So
I haven't watched Mr. Robot yet, so I would love to. Yeah, I would. I've thought about Mr. Robot. I've been going through American Gods, and that's been a good one too. That's been a good one too. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done reacts for American Gods because I've read the book. And so it's like I kind of see what's coming and I wanna, and it's so yeah, I haven't really done reacts for that. But yeah, guys, please let me know which episodes to react to. I've had so much fun doing this, and I've absolutely loved all of the feedback, and I love you guys out there. It's been a blast. I love being with JVS, and I'm having a ball.
Well, you guys, we are about to leave. Definitely leave a like on this video. If you would like more, let us know in the comment section below. We're definitely going to be doing one for the 7th season, and definitely Keeden will have reactions coming very soon. I have to go to a dinner party.
Nice.
I did not know about, so I gotta go.
Hot dogs. You living a better life.
Look, we'll talk later. Because we talked about American Gods. I was thinking about Orlando Jones, but we'll
Nancy.
All right, you guys, keep it locked. JVS, we are not going to stop, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Peace, guys.
Love you guys.